Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 4 math. So you can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 4 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter logical reasoning, and the lessons we're going to cover are find the number based on sums and differences. Find two numbers based on some difference product and quotient, and find the order. So let's just start with the lesson. Okay, here I'm on grade 4 maths. Let's just start with the lesson logical reasoning. And the lesson is 5 to find two numbers based on sums and differences. Okay, here I'm on grade 4 math. The chapter is logical reasoning, and the lesson is find two numbers based on sums and differences. Okay, let's just start with the first one. The sum of two numbers is 3 and their difference is 1. What are the two numbers? So you have to think of the two numbers whose sum is 2 and whose difference is 1, right? So that's how you can think of the different numbers. You can make table or whatever you want. You have to start with the two numbers that have the sum 2 and the difference of the same numbers is 1, right? You can see here the numbers 1 and the first line you can see here 2 minus 1 is 1 and 2 plus 1 is 3. See, when you calculate the difference, 2 minus 1 equals 1 and the sum 2 plus 1 equals 3. So that means the numbers are 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are the numbers whose difference is 1 and whose sum is 3, right? Okay, the next one is the difference of two numbers is 8 and their sum is 12. What are the two numbers? Okay, now you have to think of the two numbers. When you add them, the answer is 12, and when you subtract them, the answer is 8. So, which is the correct option? Okay, let's just do this on both. Difference of two numbers is 8 and sum is 12. Okay, sum is 12 and difference is 8. Okay, just now let's start with two numbers whose sum is 12. 6 plus 6 is 12, but their difference is 0. 7 plus 5 is 12, but their difference is 2. 8 plus 4 is 12, but their difference is 4. 10 plus 2 is 12, and their difference is 10 minus 2 is 8. So that means this is the correct one. You can see the sum when you add them, it makes 12, and when you subtract them, the answer is 8. That means the numbers are 2 and 10. So 2 and 10 are the only numbers that when added makes 12 and when subtracted makes 8, right? Okay, let's just start with the practice questions. Okay, the sum of two numbers is 11 and their difference is 3. What are the two numbers? So when you are given with the options, it would be very easy. You can just check the options, right? You have the option 6, 8 and 7, 4. Sum is 11, difference is 3. Okay, the sum of the numbers is 11 and their difference is 3. The options given are 6, 8 and 7, 4. Okay, start with 6, 8. Let's just add them. 6 plus 8 equals 14. Just calculate the difference. So 8 minus 6 is 2. That means this isn't the correct option, right? Just look at the 7 and 4. So 7 plus 4, when you add, it makes 11. And when you calculate the difference, 7 minus 4 is. That means the correct option is 7 and 1, because when you add them, the answer is 11. When you subtract them, the answer is 3, right? So the correct option is 7 and 4, right? If you already know the answer, you can please write down the answer in the chat box. The difference of two number is 5 and the sum is 15. What are the two numbers? So which is the correct option? So the correct option is 10 and 5, right? When you add them, 10 plus 5 makes 15. And when you calculate the difference, 10 minus 5 equals 5. So the correct option is 10 and 5. Option number 2 is the correct option, isn't it? If you already know the answers, you can please write down the answers in the chat box. Okay, the sum of two numbers is 13 and their difference is 1. What are the two numbers? So which is the correct option? Which two numbers have the sum 13 and difference 1? Which is the correct option? You have two options given, 8, 6 and 7, 3. So 8 plus 6 makes 14 and the difference of 8 and 6 is 2. So which is the correct option? The second option is the correct one, right? Because the difference is 7 minus 6 is 1, and when you add them, 7 plus 6 makes 13. So option number 2 is the correct option. The sum of two numbers is 15. Their difference is 1. What are the two numbers? Which is the correct option? Which two numbers have the sum 15 and difference 1? Option 1 or 2? Which is the correct option? That would be 8 and 7, right? Because when you add them, 8 and 7 makes 15, and when you calculate the difference, the answer is 1. So it would be 8 and 7. Okay, the next one is the difference of two numbers is 3. The sum of two numbers is 7. What are the two numbers? So which is the correct option? Which two numbers have the sum 7 and difference 3? The correct option is 5 and 2. When you add them, 5 plus 2 makes 7. And when you calculate the difference, 5 minus 2 is. 3, right? The correct option is 5 and 2. When you add them, they make 7, and when you subtract them, they make 3. So the correct option is 5 and 2. The difference of two numbers is 2 and their sum is 14. What are the two numbers? Which is the correct option? Which two numbers have the sum 14 and difference 2? Just add 8 plus 6 makes 14 and 8 minus 6 makes 2. That means the correct option is option number 1. The numbers are 8 and 6. Right? The difference of two numbers is 9. The sum of two numbers is 15. What are the two numbers? Which is the correct option? Okay, sum is 15 and difference is 9. 12 minus 7 is 5. And when you add them, it makes 19. This isn't the correct option, right? So 12 minus 3 is 9. And 12 plus 3 is 15. So the correct option is option number 2, right? They are 12 and 3. Okay, the sum of two numbers is 12. Their difference is 2. What are the two numbers? Okay, sum is 12. Just add, right? The difference is their sum is 14 and their difference is 2, right? Difference is 2 but their sum is not 14. Sum is not 12. Let's just add the second one. 7 plus 5 is 12 and 7 minus 5 is 2. So the second option is the correct one. 7 and 5 are the two numbers whose sum is 14 and whose difference is 2, right? So the second option is the correct one. The difference of two numbers is 2. The sum of two numbers is 16. What are the two numbers? So which is the correct option? Which two numbers have the sum 16 and difference 2? The correct option is 9 and 7, right? 9 plus 7 makes 16 and 9 minus 7 equals 2. The second option is the correct one. The difference of two numbers is 5 and their sum is 9. What are the two numbers? Sum is 9 and difference is 5. That would be 7 plus 2, right? When you add 7 and 2 makes 9 and when you subtract it makes 5. So the correct option is the second one. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next lesson is find two numbers based on sum, difference, product and quotient. with the quotient of two numbers. Okay, earlier we did just sum and difference, right? Now you have sum, difference, quotient, and product is also involved. All the four basic operations are involved now, right? Okay, the quotient of two numbers is 2. The difference of two numbers is 5. What are the two numbers? Okay, quotient means when you divide two numbers. For example, you divide 4 over 2, right? Or 6 over 3. 3 times 2 is 6, right? 2 is the quotient. So you have to find quotient means when you divide two numbers, the answer is the quotient, right? So you have to find two numbers. When you divide them, their answer is 2, and when you calculate their difference is 5. So you can see here 10 and 5 are the two numbers. When you divide them, it makes 2, and when you subtract them, they makes 5, right? That means the correct options are the numbers are 10 and 5, right? Okay. The difference of two numbers is 3 and the product is 24. What are the two numbers? So you have to calculate two numbers whose product is 24 and whose difference is 3. As soon as I finished reading the question, I got the numbers in my mind. The numbers are, what do you think? What are the two numbers? They are 7 and 4. 7 times 4 is 28. And when you calculate there, 7 times 4 is 28, right? And when you calculate their difference, 7 minus 4 is 3. So that means the correct option is 7 and 4, right? They are very easy. Just be active, read the question carefully, and you will get the numbers. But this is the one if you are so perfect with multiplication and division. All right. Let's just start with the practice questions. The quotient of two numbers is 5. The product is 20. What are the two numbers? Okay, so you are given two options. Let's start with the first one. Product 6 times 5 makes 30. And when you divide, you cannot divide 5 by 6, right? Let's start with the second one. 10 times 2 is 20. And when you divide 10 by 2, that would be 5. So the quotient is 5 and product is 20. So that would be the second option, right? 10 and 2 is the correct option. Okay, the sum of two numbers is 8 and the difference is 2. What are the two numbers? So which is the correct option? The two numbers are 5 and 3. When you add, they make 8 and when you subtract, they make 2, right? If you already know the answers, you can please write down the answers in the chat box. The product of two numbers is 16, their quotient is 1. What are the two numbers? So, which is the correct option? 4 times 4 is 16, right? And when you divide them, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So, the correct option is 4 and yes, that would be the second one. 4 times 4 is 16 and 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay, the product of two numbers is 25, their sum is 10. What are the two numbers? So, which is the correct option? Which two numbers, when multiply, makes 27 and when added, makes 10? The correct option is 5 and 5 because 5 times 5 makes 25 and when you add, they makes 10, right? The difference of two numbers is 6 and their product is 55. What are the two numbers? So, which is the correct option? 6 times 5 makes 30, right? Their product is not 55. Just look at the second one, 11 times 5. 11 times 5 is 55, and when you calculate the difference, 11 minus 5 makes 6. That means the second option is the correct option. Okay, the difference of two numbers is 10. The quotient of two numbers is 6. What are the two numbers? So, which two numbers, when multiplied, makes 6, when divided, makes 6, and when subtracted, makes 2? The numbers are 12 and 2, right? When you calculate the difference, it would be 10, and when you divide them, it makes 6. Okay, the quotient of two numbers is 1 and their product is 49. What are the two numbers? So, which is the correct option? They are 7 and 7 because 7 times 7 is 49 and when you divide, the answer is 1. So, that would be option 1. The difference of two numbers is 3. The product is 28. What are the two numbers? Which is the correct option? The correct option is 7 and 4, right? Because 7 times 4 is 28 and their difference is 3. The sum of two numbers is 13 and their difference is 1. What are the two numbers? Which is the correct option? It would be 7 and 6. 7 plus 6 makes 13 and 7 minus 6 is 1. The quotient of two numbers is 2 and the difference of two numbers is 5. What are the two numbers? They are 10 and 5, right? Because 10 and 5 difference is 5, and when you divide them, the answer is 2. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is find the order. Okay, Garrett earned more money than Rafi, but less money than Mona. Okay, so Garrett earned more than Rafi, but less than Mona. That means Garrett earned less than Mona. So here is Garrett and here is Mona. The question is who earned the least amount? The least one is Rafi earned the least one, right? This is the questions are very easy. You just have to understand one thing. Let me explain which one. Okay, Ronald swim faster than Reba. Okay, Ronald is faster and Reba is slower. Reba swims faster than Tracy. That means Reba is faster than Tracy. Here is Tracy. Then you have Reba and then you have Ronald. That is basically Reba is Ronald is faster than Reba and Tracy is and Reba swims faster than Tracy. So who swims the slowest? Ronald is the fastest and Tracy is the slowest, right? The correct option is Tracy. The opal pendant is less expensive than the pearl pendant. Okay, opal is less expensive. Opal is less expensive than pearl. The emerald necklace is less expensive than opal. Okay, so emerald is less than opal, right? This is the pearl is the expensive one. Opal is less expensive than pearl, and emerald is less expensive than opal. Which piece of jewelry is more expensive, the pearl pendant or the emerald pendant? Which is the expensive one? The more expensive is pearl, right? So the correct option is the pearl one. The yellow jump rope is longer than the silver jump rope but shorter than the red jump rope. Okay, whenever you have a statement like this, but you have to understand one thing. Let me just explain what yellow jump rope is longer than silver. Okay, yellow is longer and silver is shorter, but shorter than red jump rope. Which one is shorter? Yellow one, the first one, right? Yellow is shorter than the red jump rope. That means silver, yellow, and red is shorter, but shorter than the red jump rope. That means yellow is shorter than the red. Which jump rope is the longest? So, which is the longest? Red jump rope is the longest one, right? So, the correct option is red one. Colin drove a shorter distance than Ernest, but a longer than Mira. Who drove a longer distance, Ernest or Mira? Okay, Colin drove shorter and Ernest than Ernest. So Colin is shorter than Ernest, but a longer distance than Mira. That means Mira has the shortest one. The question is who drove the longer distance? Ernest, Mira. Ernest drove the longer distance. So the correct option is Ernest. Jake is older than Zach. Okay, Jake is older, Zach is younger. Jake is not older than Bridget. Jake is not older. That means Bridget is the older. If Jake is not older, that means then Bridget is older, right? Who is youngest, Zach or Jake? Which is the correct option? The correct option is youngest one is Zach, right? The correct option is Zach. The orange marble is farther than the target than the pink marble, but closer to the target than the white marble. The orange is farther than orange is farther from the target than the pink marble. Pink is near, but closer to the target than the white marble. That means orange one is closer to white. Pink, orange, and white. Which marble is the closest to target, pink or white? Pink one is the closest to target, right? The correct option is pink. Akash lives closer to the park than Richard, but farther from the park than Seth. Who lives the closest to the park? Who lives closest to the park? Which is the correct option? Seth is the correct option. Seth lives closest to the park. Okay, Miss Hasu has fewer students than Miss Green, but more students than Mr. Blackburn. Which teacher has more students? Miss Green or Mr. Blackburn? Which is the correct option? Miss Hasu has fewer than Miss Green. Which teach but more students than Miss Blackburn. Who has more students? Miss Green has the more students, right? Brace did not score more points than Sam. Ernest scored more points than Sam. Who scored more points? Brace or Ernest? Which is the correct option? Brace did not score more points. That means Brace has less points than Sam. Ernest scored more points than Sam. Ernest has more than Sam. So who scored the more point? That means Ernest scored the more points. Tina runs faster than Sarah, but slower than Darnell. Who runs the slowest? Who runs the slowest? The correct option is Sarah, right? Okay, you can complete the rest of the questions by yourself later today. So, we're working on grade 4 maths. Chapter we're working on is logical reasoning. The lessons we have covered today are find two numbers based on sums and difference, find two numbers based on sums and difference, product and quotient, and find the order. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. So if you have any question, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So please ask.